that have been made into panels and shapes. And the shapes, basically three shapes. There's a flat panel, there's a 90-degree panel, which we call a corner, and you'll notice in here is predetermined, pre-engineered locations for the steel studs that drop in. So the purpose of that is to speed up the construction process. And on this piece, this is a T. So this is an intersecting wall. And then I'm going to turn around and show you where these actually fit into a project. Here we've got a flat panel. The corner here is actually a T, that's the intersecting wall. And then on the other side of that would be the corner of a house or the corner of the building. And then a slice through the panel shows how the steel studs, which are conventional steel-framed components, slide into the panel. So the purpose for the steel studs are actually the structural components. And this follows conventional steel-framed engineering. Steel framing has been around for decades. What we've actually done to make things a little bit different is we're predetermining in the thickness of the expanded polystyrene panel exactly where the stud goes. So we conform to the typical 24-inch on-center placement of studs, only our connectors, which are actually two studs connected to each other, become a 4x4. The code calls for one 2x4 every 24 inches. In this case, we're using a double stud, so now that 2x4 becomes a 4x4. So now we have a 4x4, then a 2x4, and then another 4x4, two more studs than called for in the code. So we're getting a lot of extra strength from that. But the speed to construct obviously is increased hugely because normally you measure individual studs one at a time. You have to make sure they're nice and square. Over here you can see here's the intersecting wall. There's a sliding connector that goes in here, a 4x4. There's the 2x4 at 24 inch on center. And then here's another 4x4 slide down connector that locks this to the next panel. You can also see here the thickness of the panel, the fact that the steel is embedded in the middle of the panel, so we've got a thermal break from the temperature being outside here, getting to the steel and transmitting through. And then here you'll see there's conduits. There's actually one here at the top, one here in the middle, this would be for light switches, and then one down here for wall outlets that would be located above or below this line. At any point you can cut into the foam to access this conduit, which runs all the way through the panel, including the corner component.